Hello, my lovelies. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me. Really appreciate it. And if you are listening to us via podcast, thank you for also joining. Now, make sure if you would like updates on cases that are in the news right now, or updates on cases that we've covered, make sure you head over to our social media pages on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook under Effed Up True Crime, EFFED, Up True Crime, and especially YouTube. We have our YouTube channel going, and instead of listening, you can watch. Totally up to you, but I want to thank you once again. Now, in about 2 weeks, my first true crime book will be out on the 29th, called Mummy, I Thought You Loved Me. Now, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be really hard to read, but there are a lot of us that like to read these things to be vigilant, especially us mothers, fathers. Sometimes you got to read the horribleness that's out there. Now, today's is going to be a tough one. It is a case that it's developing, and it's got some pretty horrendous and gruesome detail that the police have put out. They haven't covered everything, but it's what they did cover. Honest to goodness, it give you nightmares, especially if you're a mother or a father, sorry. It really will. So if you don't believe you could handle it, please, I implore you, please turn us off, because your mental health is so much more important than us getting hits and likes. It's so much more important. I would very much prefer that you take care of yourself first. Now, ahead of today's subject, which is Patricia Alatorre, 13-year-old girl that she had an Amber Alert issued for her just under 2 weeks ago now. And I just want to quickly touch on social media, because look, social media is everywhere now. Everywhere. There's nothing we can do about it. And as our kids grow older, they become more independent. They choose who they speak to, who they don't speak to on social media. And without becoming overbearing, as parents, we need to know who's in our child's life. We need to know who they're conversing with. We need to know what they're conversing about. And for myself, I can't bring myself to read like my kids' diaries or go through their phones or things like that. But from birth, I made sure we had like an open door policy. No matter what the subject, they could come to me, and I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to yell. We would have a discussion, and it didn't matter what the subject was, whether it be drugs, alcohol, sex. Unfortunately, I've had to have that one. But I found that giving them privacy, but letting them know that I'm there, has been very beneficial. They are so open with me. They tell me where they're going to be every minute. Even the 18-year-old. I mean, he doesn't have to, but he knows that I would panic if I didn't know. He says it's because of my obsession with true crime, and he's probably right, because I do have an obsession with true crime, and I do think that the entire world is a pet. Every single person on this planet, in my views, is a pedophile. Now, I came to that conclusion the minute my son was born, my firstborn. I knew I had to treat the world as so that I knew they wouldn't get hurt. If I didn't trust anyone, if I didn't have anyone watching them, then for me, I knew they'd be safe. And it's hard. It's a hard one because you don't want your children hurt, and you don't want them to come to any harm. You really don't. And I think that on top of all of that, I was abused as a child sexually. So that really doesn't help things when it comes to being overprotective. But as I said, I am fortunate. My kids come to me. They tell me where they're going, what they're doing, who they're doing it with, and the policy works. It works very much so. They come to me with anything. So I implore you, if you don't have an open relationship with your children, there's a lot of anger and mistrust there, it works. Telling them that they can come to you for anything really does work, and they'll come to you. They really will. If they know that you're not going to scream and yell and punish, they will come to you. They will ask your advice. They will ask you what they should do in situations. Of course, they're not always going to take your advice, but you'd know what kind of situation they're in. You'd know what's going on in their lives. So, I mean, I know a lot of people probably think, oh, this woman's an idiot, but it works. So today's case is Patricia Alatorre. You might have seen this on your social media pages or on your news if you live in the States, especially in the California area. I'll give you the Amber Alert first. This is what was first put up by the Bakersfield Police Department when she first went missing. The Bakersfield Police Department is asking for the community's help in finding a missing 13-year-old girl. Police say Patricia Alatorre was last seen on Wednesday night near Hosking Avenue and Wibble Road. Police describe Alatorre as Hispanic female, 5 foot tall, weighing around 90 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. A white older model pickup truck was seen in the area at that time she went missing, and surveillance then was captured, and the footage showed Patricia entering this truck. So Patricia's family, we're away from the Amber Alert now. Now Patricia's family initially thought she'd run away from home. She's 13, hormonal, and our children, now that they've got social media, I believe that our children go up a little too fast. They're entering an adult world before they're ready, and I blame social media, but that's just my opinion. So her mother, Patricia's mother, told KGET News that Patricia made a makeshift person in her bed by stuffing pajamas under the covers, so she must have filled them with pillows and everything to make it look like she was laying in her bed. But her mother has said that Patricia's never tried to run away before. So her family tried to locate her on the 1st of July using her cell phone. The data, where it pings and that. If you're on a family plan, you can check each other's location, kind of like Find My iPhone on any Apple product. Now you can do so with pretty much any phone. Now when they did manage to locate the ping on the cell phone, but the signal cut off south of Bakersfield. Now, on July 4th, police released to the public an image of the white truck they said was spotted in the area at around 11 p.m. on the night of Patricia's disappearance. Now, the truck, believe it or not, this one beat up old truck was the kick in the ass that the police needed. So the truck was seized, and when that was seized, it led them to Cruz, the man accused of this horrible crime. So Cruz was taken into custody for questioning in Los Angeles County. Now, on July 5th, Armando Cruz, a 24-year-old man, was then identified as a person of interest to the public. So last Monday night, when law enforcement informed the family that Patricia wasn't coming home, that she had passed away, a Black Lives Matter demonstration was actually due to take place. However, the demonstration moved to the front of Patricia's family home and soon became a very tearful vigil. I know that I would, because I don't know the child, but if I was out there at a vigil, I know I'd be in tears, just feeling for the parents. They're so strong. I don't know if I could be as strong as Patricia's mother has been. I'm hoping she has wonderful support, which usually in the communities there is, but right now I feel it's probably the most important time to help keep her upright, keep her spirit going, keep her mentally stable, which wouldn't be easy, not at all. So after the vigil, Cruz was taken from the LA area and up to Bakersfield, where he went in and was questioned by the police. Following that interview, Cruz was arrested. So on July 6th, on the morning of July 6th, so it must have been one hell of a long interview. And he was booked into Kern County Jail for charges of murder and sexual assault of a juvenile. Sergeant Robert Pear, the public information officer for Bakersfield Police, told Oxygen.com, Cruz made statements that are consistent with establishing probable cause for his arrest for kidnapping and murder. Now, in a document filed by police at Kern County Superior Court, which was released on last Wednesday, it describes briefly, gruesome detail, what's believed to have happened to 13-year-old Patricia at the hands of this accused murderer. Now, as I said before, if you don't feel that you can listen to what happened or what has been stated as to what happened, because of course we're not going to know a lot until trial. We're not going to know what the outcome is until trial comes. The document, a probable cause declaration, was filed, as stated before, for Armando Cruz, an Inglewood man of California. Now, the document says Alatorre, Patricia, and Cruz met on social media. Exactly. That's why I wanted to do the social media part at the beginning of the podcast, because I believe it's just so important. It is. Social media is taking our children away from us, and not in a good way. It's taking a lot of children away from parents in heinous crimes, circumstances, kidnappings, murders, rapes, all of it. Because men can pose as anybody on these. They can pose as 13-year-old boys. They can pose as 12-year-old girls. They can get away with it. And these pedophiles, for whatever reason, the majority of them are absolute morons, and yet they know how to navigate through the dark web. So we've got to be careful, guys. We've really got to be careful.